am Julie, and this is the fourth and last yoga class offered by Allegheny County Library in partnership with Stretch Your Body, Stretch Your Mind. The first class we started with chair yoga. The second class we did standing yoga postures. The third class was a horizontal lay on your back yoga. And today is a combination of all three. I thought we would start today with a poem about yoga by Dana Falls from her book Go In and In. So start where you would like to this morning. Sitting in a chair, sitting in a simple, easy cross-legged position, perhaps using a blanket to lift the hips a little bit, or if you'd like, just stretching out for a few moments while I read and we just do some centering and breathing for a few moments before we start moving the body with the breath. So take a moment, get a blanket, your yoga mat, a pillow, a chair if you need it. We're going to use a strap probably. So just pause and gather up, and then we'll meet back here. The name of the poem is Yoga. Yoga is not about the pose. It's not the alignment of toes or hips or shoulders. It is not about the form. Yoga is an invitation to explore, not a command performance. What a relief. It speaks the language of the soul. In the flow of breath and motion, yoga coaxes us from the confines of the known across the silent threshold into vastness. Yoga is the union of breath and movement, guided from inside. It is healing and the joy of saying yes to life. Breathe, relax, and feel the body receive its own truth. The seed of freedom flowers within each of us whenever we are open to what's real. Yoga by Dana Falls. So I hope you have found a comfortable, seated, lying down, or chair to come into the present moment, to invite your breath to be free and easy. So wherever you are, connect with the earth. Whatever part of the body is making contact with the earth. If you're sitting in a chair or on the floor, just kind of move around a little bit. If you're stretched out, do the same thing. Have that sense of connection. And if you're sitting, try and lengthen that spine. Relax the shoulders. And then close the eyes or have a soft gaze as we begin to come into the present moment, to connect to the breath. Closing the eyes help to kind of detach from the outer world and connect with our inner world. So just notice the breath without making any effort to change it. Take a moment to notice how you're feeling physically. And take a moment to notice how you're doing today. How's your spirit? Are you feeling energized and ready to go? Are you feeling sluggish? Perhaps there's a bit of anxiety. Just take a moment to notice and accept the isness of the moment, that this is in fact how you're feeling this morning without pushing it away. And then gradually allow your breath to become a little fuller, a little longer, softening that belly so that you can take a complete full breath in and a long breath out. And if you like, putting one hand on the belly, and if you like, another hand on the rib cage. And as you inhale through the nose, see if you can breathe into those hands, feeling as you inhale, the belly lifts slightly, the ribs expand. Perhaps you sense a widening of the collarbones. And then for the first couple of breaths, exhale through the mouth as if you're fogging up a mirror. And as you do that, and you draw close to the end of that exhalation, just a gentle drawing in the navel back toward the spine, a sense of zipping up the pants that have been in the dryer and just a little too tight. And then when you're ready for your next inhalation, soften that belly again. Take that nice full breath in. And a long breath out. A couple more of these. Relaxing the body, the belly as you inhale. And as you exhale, releasing, relaxing, letting go. And then after that next exhalation, continue these nice full breaths in and long breaths out. If it's comfortable for you today, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Keeping that belly soft to receive the breath. And as you exhale and the breath leaves the body, the gently drawing in as you practice your conscious yoga breathing. And then relaxing the belly and taking another breath in. And notice, if you notice, that as you inhale through the nose, you feel the coolness of the breath entering through the nose. And if you're exhaling through the nose, notice if you notice the warmth of the breath leaving the body. So take one or two more of these complete cycles of breath. And then return to your natural rhythm of breathing. And slowly open your eyes or refocus. And we're going to start today standing up. So make your way to standing. Clear your space. I'm going to move my blanket for now. Many of these poses you'll be able to do in a chair. So we're going to come to mountain. And I use the acronym GAB, Grounded, Aligned, Breathing. So take a moment, first of all, to feel the ground beneath you, beneath those feet. If you're sitting, you feel the ground beneath the hips and the feet. Press through the balls of the feet. Just for a moment, lift the toes and spread them apart, and then relax them. And have a sense of connection to that earth, almost as if you were a beautiful plant or a tree whose roots begin right at the top of the legs and the tailbone. Imagining roots going down through the legs, through the soles of the feet, down into the earth and out. So a real sense of connection there. And then the alignment. Having that neutral spine, tailbone going down, perhaps just slightly tucked. That just helps to engage the abdominal muscles, and lengthening through the crown of the head. Shoulders relaxed. And then be breathing. That's the big one. You know, sometimes you go, okay, I'm aligned, I'm grounded, and here I am. Take a full breath in and sigh it out. Inhale, bring those shoulders up. Exhale, sigh it out. A couple more of these, inhaling those shoulders up. And exhale, sighing it out. Last one. And big. Release, good. And then just kind of shake everything out. As you're standing grounded, make sure that your knees are slightly soft and not locked. And the shoulders are relaxed down. And we're going to start just warming up the spine, warming up the muscles. So just shake out the arms. Imagine for a moment that they're empty sleeves. And we're just going to gently twist, keeping that length through the crown of the head, a sense of being grounded, soft knees. If you want and would like to try it, always just try different things, make it your own. You can separate the feet a little wider. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And you're just having a soft, gentle breath. You can let the arms start to lift off and add a little more energy if the spine feels like it's ready for you to do that. Listening to your body. You may decide today, this is it, this is where I am, and that is just fine. So if the arms have floated up, start to let them float down. Good. And you can turn them into really empty sleeves if you want. Let them tap your body. That's always nice to do. And make your way back to center. If you've separated your feet a little wider, bring them back to about hip width apart. And we're going to hinge from the hip crease. When you lift a foot, that's where that crease is, right there. And we're going to send the hips back just a little bit. Weight evenly distributed between the four corners of the feet, but maybe just a little more emphasis on the heels. And bring the hands lightly to the thighs. It doesn't matter how far you bend. Keep the collarbones wide. And we're just going to make some circles here with the knees. So we're warming up the knees, the hips, the ankles. And you're not rounding the back or lifting the chest. Your spine's in neutral. It's just that you've hinged. And then go the other way. And then you can walk in place here. Bend one knee a little bit more than the other. Back and forth. And then staying in this pose, we're going to do basically cat and dog. We're going to do the first two of the 6 positions of the spine. So as you inhale, you're going to lift that tailbone, lift the heart, lift the chin slightly. And then as you exhale, you tuck the tailbone under, around the back a little bit, tuck the chin. The inhale, you're opening the front of the body, opening the heart. Exhale, you're rounding the back, tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone. So you're flexing and extending that spine. And you can do this in a chair just by hinging a little bit. And then make your way back to mountain. Good. We've already done this gentle twist, and that's the third and the fourth movement of the spine. Just a gentle twist to one side and then the other. And then the other two positions of the spine are the side stretches to the right and to the left. So we'll start doing a side stretch here. Have your feet a little wider than hip width apart. If you like, bring your left fingertips to your ear, just right behind, fingertips right behind the ear. Your right arm just relaxing by your side. And as you exhale, kind of keeping that elbow pressed back, just stretch over to the right, and then inhale and come up. And imagine you're between two panes of glass, so that as you exhale over to the side, your ear, your shoulder, your hip, your ankle are in one pane of glass. Then the next time you go over to the right, stay here just for a moment. And as you exhale, bring that elbow forward. And as you inhale, kind of press it back. Exhaling, elbow in, inhaling, pressing it back. Maybe 2 more times. You'll find I'm not very good at maths. Sometimes we do more. And then after your next inhale, come on back to center. Bring that arm by your side. Roll the shoulders a couple of times. And then come back to mountain. Notice we're not going to jump just from one side to the next. We're going to come back to center. Pause and notice how the body feels. And then step the feet at just, your comfortable distance. We're going to bring those right fingertips right behind the ear. That left hand just by your side. And the same thing. Exhale. You kind of press that right hip out. Inhale. Come back up. Exhale. And you're not striving to get anywhere. You may notice that the fingertips maybe went down further on the other side than they do this side, and that's okay. So then the next time you've exhaled and that hand has gone down the leg, stay here for a breath. And then as you exhale, bring that elbow in. Inhale, press it back. Exhaling, it comes in. The inhale's opening, you're breathing in. Let's do one more after the one you're on. Inhaling it back. And then coming back to center. Good. Bringing the feet a little closer together, perhaps into mountain, and rolling those shoulders again. Good. Continuing to warm up the body a bit, we're going to do the peanut butter jar, which is really a combination, as I think you'll realize, of the flexion and the extension and the side stretch. So you can just bring your hands lightly to your hips, and you're going to start to make a circle in one direction. So you're going from side to side, and you're going forwards and backwards. And you're getting a side stretch as you go side to side, and as you go forwards and backwards, you'll notice that tailbone is kind of tucking under as you go forward and lifting back as you go back. And you can always change the foot placement. That really changes the pose, so you can kind of always play with that. And then reverse your circles. More times. And then back to center, back to mountain. We've rolled our shoulders a few times, so let's do it with breath. As you inhale, bring those shoulders forward and up, and as you exhale, release them back, relax them down. So the inhale, forward and up, exhale, release back and down. It was pointed out to me by somebody in an office yoga class I had, kind of looked like dinosaur arms, and then he made mention of how old I was, which I was not offended by because he was and is the same age as I am. Do one more, and then relax the arms and just kind of shake it out, good. We're going to do a balance pose here. We're going to move into tree. Now if you do have a chair, this is a nice time to kind of have it handy. Move back toward it. I'm just going to move it here with me. We're going to stand in mountain. And if at any time you need to, you can hold on to this chair. People think, oh, I'm not going to do that because I would be cheating. But that is not the case. When you do a balance pose, and don't do it yet, when you do a balance pose, it's weight bearing, you're engaging the core, it is strength building just by holding on, just lightly. It's not going to take away anything from the benefits of this. And there are plenty of days when I need a kitchen counter, or if I'm in the kitchen heating up my coffee and I decide to do a balance pose. So do not think about that. So ground that left foot, turn the right knee out, and you can just momentarily rest that right heel on the standing left ankle. And then if it feels comfortable, bring that foot against the inner calf, or you can bring it against the inner thigh. If you do that, you kind of want to press the thigh into the press of the foot. Just make sure that foot is not against the knee. You're welcome to keep your hand right there wherever you are. If it's comfortable, you can bring your hands to heart. You can grow limbs. You can be one-pointed. I'm wobbling. And then release. I always say in classes that a lot of times I release when I'm getting ready to come down. And then you can move the chair or just go to the other side. I'm going to move it over here so we can do the other side. You're going to ground that right leg. Turn the left knee out. And then again, decide where you are today. What kind of tree? Think about all the different trees. And bring those arms up. And it's helpful to find a point on the floor, maybe 5-10 feet away from you. I was looking at myself as I was videoing this and I realized that was not helping my balance. And then release. And come down. And shake it out. Shake it all about. Good. I'm going to move this chair. Another pose that we can do that's a balance pose is Warrior One. And it's not standing on one foot, but nonetheless, it's a balance pose. So bring your right foot forward, your left foot back. That back foot can be angled out a little bit, and as much as possible, try and square your shoulders. Bring your hands to heart. And this is a gentle flow. So as you inhale, you're going to just soften that right knee. And you want a vertical shin. You want a vertical shin here. You don't want the knee past the ankle. And you send the hips down. And then you can inhale those arms up. And then as you exhale, you straighten that front knee. Bring hands to heart. So as you inhale, soften that knee. Kind of sink that tailbone down. Open the arms wherever the arms can go, the shoulders. And as you exhale, bring hands to heart. The inhale opens. Come forward just a little bit, tailbone lifts. Exhale, hands to heart. And if you have one shoulder that is not cooperating, that's fine, just wherever you are. Good. We'll do one more. Inhale and just stay here for a couple of breaths if that's comfortable. Softening the shoulders, lifting the chin just slightly, thinking about opening the heart. Soft breath. And then with your next exhale, bring hands to heart. Lovely. And then you can bring that back foot forward, the forward foot back. Round the shoulders. And then we'll have that left foot forward and the right foot back. Take a moment, get your foot placement, kind of bend that knee, soften that front knee. Make sure you've got a good foot placement, and then come back to center with the front leg extended, shoulders pretty square, hands to heart. And then as you inhale, soften that front knee. Drop the tailbone, lift the arms, open the heart. Next, exhale, hands to heart. inhale, softens the knee, drops the tailbone, opens the heart, arms up, the exhale, hands to heart. And go at your own pace. We inhale and breathe in as we open, and as we exhale, kind of draw back into ourselves. We exhale. Couple more. And last one. Lovely. And then come back to mountain. And roll those shoulders. Good. And now we're going to come down to the mat. We're going to come down to hands and knees briefly. Now, if you have knee issues or wrist issues, just fast forward me and start somewhere else. You can do hands and knee poses using a surface, and hopefully we'll have time to do that another time. But we're just going to be on hands and knees briefly. We're going to have the wrist right underneath the shoulders. We're going to have the knees right below the hips. And we're just going to do our cats and dogs here. So as you exhale, you're going to tuck that tailbone around the back, tuck the chin. And then as you inhale, you're going to reverse that like we did standing, lifting the tailbone. The belly sinks, the heart lifts, the chin lifts slightly. So you're just moving in a real gentle flexion and extension of the spine. And then make your way back to table. And from here we're going to do one down dog before we come to our backs. You can move the hands a little in front of the shoulders, turn the toes under, and as you exhale, lift the hips up and then think about pressing the mat away from the hands. For just a moment, bend the knees, lift the heels up, and then imagine there's a little hook on your tailbone that's lifting you up, and then walk your dog. Lower your right heel as that left knee bends, then lower the left heel as the right heel bends, just back and forth a few times. Coming down at any time. And then press both heels down for a moment, keeping those arms long and strong. And then release. Come down to hands and knees. And if it's comfortable, for the knees, for the ankles, you can bring the big toes together, separate the knees, send the hips back toward the heels, and bring the forehead down to the mat. If that forehead doesn't come to the mat, you can come up on your forearms and just soften the neck. If you have blocks, you could put your forehead on a block or two and take a couple of breaths. Good. And then press up. And we're going to stretch out on our backs now. So if you need a support behind your head to help lengthen the neck, you can use a blanket or you can use a pillow. So stretch out. You can come to your side and kind of roll yourself down, making your way to your back, taking a moment, feeling that ground beneath you. I like to lift one shoulder up and then relax it down, lift the other shoulder, relax it down. If it's comfortable, extend those legs long. If your lower back is suggesting that that's not a good idea, go ahead and bend those knees, bringing the feet back to the mat. And take a couple of breaths here. Come back to our full self-breath. Slow, even, long, full breaths in. And long releasing breaths out. relaxing as you inhale, feeling the belly, the ribs, maybe the collarbones expand. I say maybe because I rarely do. Taking that full cleansing breath in and then exhaling, releasing, relaxing, letting go. Seeing if you can just soften a bit more, relax into the support of the ground. Good. And then bend your right knee and draw your right knee into the chest. And I need to get my strap. You can interlace your fingers behind the thigh or around the shin. If you realize when you interlace your fingers around the thigh that your shoulders scrunch up, use your strap. Extend your arms. Some of us are born with long arms, some with short arms, and that way you can relax the shoulders and bring that knee into the chest with your longer arms using the strap. Take a couple of breaths here. Extend that left leg long if that's comfortable. If not, keep that left foot right there on the mat. Take a couple of breaths in, long breaths out. And then bend that left knee if you haven't already. Bring the left foot to the mat. Release that right leg and place that right ankle on the left knee. If that's not comfortable, you can scoot that left foot a little further apart, or you can bring the right ankle to the left ankle. Bring the arms out shoulder height, removing into barn door. So as you exhale, let those knees release over to the right. You can look over the left shoulder if you want. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, legs over to the left. Looking over that right shoulder, or keeping that face at center. Or you can even let your head follow the movement of the legs. There's a yoga saying, in the beginner's mind there are very many possibilities. In the expert's mind there are few. So just have that beginner's mind. Just see where you are today. If you have the expert's mind, then it's like there's only one acceptable answer. And that's rarely true in life or in yoga. And then make your way back to center. Take your time, never rush here. And then if it's comfortable, and only you can decide that, listening to your body much more than you listen to me, you can lift that left foot, bringing that right ankle with it, or ankle on ankle, and interlace the fingers behind that left thigh. Or again, use your strap, lengthen your arms, and just stay here for a few breaths. If this is painful, if you can tell pretty much usually if you're going, oh boy, I can feel that stretch, but it's safe, then stay there. Maybe ease up a little bit. Nothing the matter with easing up. That's where the mind tells you there's something the matter, but there's not. You're listening to your body. Take a couple of breaths. If this feels really good to you and you'd like a deeper stretch, you can roll just an inch or two over to the left. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Soften the face. Let that tongue soften and float. And then if you've rolled, come back to center. Release your strap or your hands. Bring that left foot to the mat. Bring that right foot to the mat. Bring the arms out a nice distance from the body. And take a breath or two here. You can take a full breath in through the nose and exhale it either through the nose or the mouth. feel what there is to feel. And then barn door on the other side. So arms are extended, left ankle on the right knee, or left ankle on the left ankle. And your barn doors, the exhaling over to the sides, decide where you want your head to go, up toward the ceiling or to one side or the other. The exhale releases us, the inhale brings us back to center. There's that natural pause at the bottom of the exhalation where we can release and relax. So as those legs release over to the sides on that exhalation, maybe take a pause or just take a breath or two and really allow those legs to relax. You may feel a stretch that's really quite interesting. You might want to stay there a little bit longer on that side than on the other side, and that is perfectly acceptable. We're listening to our bodies, and by listening to our bodies, we're discovering that usually one side is tighter than the other. That might be because of how we were born. It could be an accident. It could be from really working hard and strengthening one side of the body, but the other side has become a little weaker. So just tuning in, honoring and respecting the messages from your body. Make your way back to center. And then as you inhale, lift that right foot, if this is comfortable for you. Interlace those fingers behind the thigh or use your strap. You can have ankle over ankle here. And then if you want a little deeper stretch through that left hip, you can roll just slightly over to the right. Soft breath here. And then make your way back to center if you've rolled, releasing the hands or the strap, bringing the right foot to the mat, and then the left. Bringing the arms out a nice distance from the body, coming back to the breath, available to us 24/7. Taking a full, complete breath in, a long releasing breath out. We did a standing tree a few minutes ago. We're going to do a supine tree, a lying down tree. If it's comfortable, extend your left leg long, press through that left heel just for a moment. Then walk your right foot against the inside of your left leg, wherever it can be, above the knee, below the knee, it does not matter. And then let that right knee drop out to the side. Now if you have your blanket or your pillow handy, as I think I do, yeah, you can put the blanket underneath the leg a little bit. You can roll it up so that you're releasing those inner thigh muscles, but your knee is just out there in midair, because what happens then sometimes is the muscles kind of get overused. So you just want to have a little support there if you need it. Come back to the breath. And your right foot can move slightly away from your inner left leg. No problem. It can be down by closer to the ankle. And if this causes any discomfort in the knee, just stretch out or have the knees bent for restorative rest. And then bring that right foot to the mat. And either stretch both legs out or bend both knees. Just do the same thing with both legs. Take a nice full breath in and a long breath out. And then we'll do the other side. Extend that right leg long. Flex that heel. Just engage those calf muscles, then relax the foot. Bring your left foot against your inner right leg, just wherever it may feel comfortable. Allow that left knee to release out to the side. Again, use a pillow, can put the pillow underneath that left leg, knee, or the blanket if you need it. And come back to the breath. Noticing where the breath moves in the body. And then release, bring that left foot to the mat, and go ahead and bend that right knee, right foot to the mat. And take a couple of breaths. And then just a couple of pelvic tilts here, tucking the tailbone under as you exhale, as you inhale, lifting that tailbone slightly, having a little exaggerated curve there, just moving with breath a time or two. And come back to center. And then bring the arms up toward the ceiling, just for a moment. Rotate the wrist a couple of times in one direction, a few times in the other direction. And then bend those elbows a little below the shoulders, just resting the hands somewhere along the span of your forearms. Shoulders relaxed. And just moving those arms from side to side. Exhaling as they go over to the sides. Inhaling, bringing them back to center. Just letting those hands rest as opposed to gripping. And if you'd like, as the arms go to one side, you can let the knees release in the other. Just a few times here. Back to center. And then release the hands, bring the knees into the chest. And just for a second, bring the arms and legs up toward the ceiling. This is a version of Happy Baby or Bud laying on his back. So you have bends in the elbows and knees, you're relaxing the shoulders and hips, and you're just kind of moving the arms, the legs, the hands, the feet. It can be a real quiet little baby or bug, or you can be a more active baby or bug. Very relaxing, calming to the nervous system, nice for the lower back. And then bend the knees, bring them into the chest, let the hands float down to the knees, just resting lightly on the kneecaps. And as you inhale, let those knees move away so that the arms lengthen. And as you exhale, and you're kind of tightening the abdominal muscles, draw the knees in toward the chest. Inhale, knees float away. Nice full breath in, arms lengthen. Exhale, drawing the knees a little closer, not too tight, just a gentle, soothing movement here for the lower back. And then release. Bring one foot to the mat and then the other. And then we'll get ready to move into relaxation. So if it's comfortable, stretch the legs out long. If your lower back still is kind of talking to you, go ahead and bend the knees. Feet on the mat, and you can have the knees kind of drop in toward one another. Another option is to extend the legs long and have a rolled up towel, or maybe a rolled up yoga mat if you have a spare one under the knees. Decide if a pillow behind your head would be nice. And perhaps you'd like a blankie to cover you up. Take a moment, whatever your relaxation pose looks like. Move, shimmy, until you come to a place where you can quiet and come into stillness. taking a couple of complete breaths in, long breaths out. Breathing in oxygen, energy, life force. Oxygen traveling to every cell, gland, tissue, and organ. And as you exhale, releasing, relaxing, letting go. Then allow the breath to breathe on its own. Let go of any holding unnecessary. Allow the weight to release into the support of the ground. No need to hold on, to tighten, or to tense. An invitation to release, to relax. Allowing the mind to quiet just for this moment. Just for this breath. A sense of heaviness as you release into the support of the ground. But perhaps also a sense of openness and lightness as you feel the muscles relax and soften. Stay here for as long as you like. Some people have been known to fall asleep. But when you're ready, take another full breath in and a long breath out. Begin to make small movements with fingers and toes, hands and feet. Stretch, just move in any way that feels good. And then bend your knees if they've been extended. Roll over to your right or to your left side, whichever is more comfortable. Staying here for just a moment. And then slowly pressing up to sitting. Bringing hands to heart. And may we know our blessings and bow humbly in gratitude. Namaste. And thank you.